In this video we'll be comparing residency, lifestyle, living costs and taxation for Andorra versus Switzerland. Switzerland is famous for being a low tax and politically neutral jurisdiction that is home to international corporate headquarters. It has received this fame through extensive media coverage and decades of being a safe haven for wealth from around the world. Reputation aside, does Switzerland have more attractive personal income and corporate taxes? Are its residency types, lifestyle and living costs more or less attractive compared to Andorra? Switzerland's taxes, cost of living, labour and real estate are notably higher than in Andorra. To get Swiss residency, if someone is not an EU citizen, professionals and entrepreneurs will be asked for a company investment of between 150,000 and 1 million Swiss francs, depending on which canton they wish to reside. EU citizens, on the other hand, have significantly less hurdles to take up residency, and they can register simply their business and then become residents in Switzerland. Let us explore similar and different benefits between the two states. First, let's start with their similarities. Andorra, like Switzerland, is located in Europe, but both are not members of the EU. They are landlocked and have road access to the EU. Both are located in mountainous terrains and famous for their winter sports. As a resident of either state, you may travel the Schengen zone without a visa. Andorra uses the euro and Switzerland uses the Swiss franc as currency. The euro makes cash transactions for the frequent traveller without exchange rate commission in the Schengen zone, so it is easier than Switzerland. Andorra, like Switzerland, belongs to the COE, the UN and the OSCE, while Switzerland also belongs to the EFTA, the IMF and the OECD. Although Andorra is not a member of the OECD, it does abide by its substance requirements. They share very low crime rates and high levels of personal safety. They both have over 2.3 health workers per 1,000 people for primary healthcare needs. Andorra's health expenditure is 10.3% in 2017, and this is near the same as Switzerland's 12.3% in the same year. Both share a similar life expectancy. Both states are democratic, but Andorra's democracy is centralised. Switzerland has fractionalised direct democracy districts called cantons. This plays an important part in taxation as it varies in each canton. Other than Andorra's substantially smaller landmass, 468 square kilometres versus 41,277, and its lower population of just 77,000 versus Switzerland's 8.4 million. The biggest difference between Andorra and Switzerland is the cost of living and taxes. Comparing Andorra's to Switzerland's living costs and day-to-day expenditure, Andorra is 2.2 times cheaper to live. Another deal breaker between the two states is the cost of their subsistence and business expenses. The average monthly salary in Switzerland is around €5,850 compared to Andorra's €2,081 average. For office space, Switzerland quadruples the cost per metre squared compared to Andorra. Switzerland's corporate tax is between 15 to 24%, and depending on the company's location of corporate residency, while in Andorra the maximum is 10%. Andorra's personal income tax is between 5 to 10%, with a €24,000 deductible. For Switzerland, federal tax rates are progressive up to 11.5%, to which you need to add a cantonal and municipal income tax, which can make up to an additional 10 to 30% for high incomes depending on the canton or municipality you live in. So your choice of location is important, and overall taxes may reach up to 40% for high incomes in high tax cantons. A deal breaker for taxes for Switzerland versus Andorra is its dividend taxation. Switzerland is 35% for non-residents in the absence of a double tax treaty, whilst Andorra's is 0%. Even Swiss residents are faced with substantial dividend taxation, which corresponds to their personal income tax rate with partial deduction. Andorran residents do not pay taxes on local dividends. While Andorra has no inheritance, donation or wealth taxes, Switzerland has all three in nearly all cantons. Wealth tax is one of the main incentives for high net worth individuals to consider choosing Andorra over Switzerland. Now let's turn to Swiss and Andorran residency programs. Switzerland's residency options are not generally accessible unless the applicant is highly or ultra wealthy. Requirements for company setup are easier in Switzerland than in Andorra. Processing time is also quicker. EU citizens have no problems to set up a company, and because residents through being a self-employed director in Switzerland. For non-EU citizens, residency options are not generally accessible unless the applicant is wealthy and ready to make important investments through their business or as a physical person, as we will discuss later. Andorra's active residency by a company setup demands no minimum turnover. There is just a requirement of being a director or board member and a bond deposit payment of €15,000. A permanence of 183 days a year is recommended, similar to the requirement for tax residency. Unlike Andorra, Switzerland has no real estate investment program for passive residency. For wealthy individuals, there is a Swiss lump sum residency program based on an annual lump sum tax of between 150,000 Swiss francs up to 1 million Swiss francs, depending on the canton and municipality. Andorra offers passive residency programs for €350,000 investment in real estate or other local assets. There's no minimum yearly tax expenditure required after becoming a passive resident. To get permanent Swiss residency, it takes 10 years. In Andorra, residency must be renewed every 2 or 3 years until you reach 7 years. To get a Swiss passport, it takes 12 years residency versus Andorra's 20 years. Switzerland does allow dual nationality, while Andorra does not. In the next video, we will conclude with all the main points of this video. Thanks for watching, and do not forget to subscribe.